From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
Hello and welcome to The Horse's Mouth, the show where we have interesting conversations right here at the bar. I'm Brian Sexton, and I am joined today by Derek Sawyer from All22 Global Scouting. We're going to talk, of all things, shocking, football.
Let's hear it.
But it's the global scouting aspect of your business that interests me the most. Where do you go, and what are you looking for on a global scale?
Great question. The answer to the first one's easy. We go pretty much everywhere. Right. The idea is that we're looking for elite athletes. We have two sides of the business. One is helping the American athletes here in the U.S., the guys that don't quite make the NFL, get up to the next level, and we want to give them opportunities to play as an import player in Germany, Japan, Canada, Brazil, etc. But then also find those elite athletes that we can bring back to the U.S. through the IPP program, through the CFL Global Draft, and also help develop the game from a flag perspective.
You know, for Jaguars fans who are watching, Patrick Murtaugh, the tight end who got injured in training camp, is a very promising player from Australia. And they have a rugby player, Louis Rees-Zampin, who was brought in after the Chiefs let him go this year and was with the Jags all year, and he's trying to transition. So there are these gifted athletes all around the world who maybe don't grow up playing football, but learn the sport like Zampin did. So tell me how you find these guys.
Well, it's
turn over a lot of rocks.
We do. I think the easiest way, and the one thing that makes basketball and football a little bit easier, is you look for size. There's only so many 6'6", 300-pound guys to play on the offensive line here in the United States. And
Planet guys.
That's it. I mean, you got to get to Brazil and places like Eastern Europe and Africa. Obviously, is a hotbed for a lot of athletes, and so there's a lot of these areas that we go to. Actually, Norway, Sweden, a lot of really big humans out there, and so we look for those. Start there, then we start to look for movement. I think here in the United States, a lot of players play multiple sports. Gives us a little bit of an advantage, a lot of flexibility, a lot of mobility. Whereas overseas, most athletes pick a sport, whether it be rugby, basketball, soccer, kind of the big three. And at that point, it's just finding the guys that can translate those skills over to the NFL.
So you have like the diamond medallion, you sit upstairs in the Delta Lounge at the airport. I mean, how many millions of miles do you fly? How much does technology help you? I imagine that these days you don't have to be in South Africa. You don't have to be in Australia. You might want to be, but you don't have to travel if you've got the ability to see these guys.
100%. So we're lucky. We built a team that's global right now. So we've got scouts in Africa. We've got scouts located in Europe, Asia, etc. So we partner with different federations globally for events. We send those scouts over there to verify events, run combines, drills, film it, and then we built a centralized database. Okay. So all of these players go in there. We're at roughly about 40,000 players right now globally that we've scouted.
So when you look at this, are you trying to marry up with the NFL's international endeavors? Sure. I mean, you see that they've gone from, a game in London to this year they'll play 5 games internationally, and it's not long before they play an entire schedule all around the world.
I would agree with that completely, and I think absolutely. The game is growing globally. It's taken the path that basketball took. The NFL's doing a great job right now to invest in that, but there's so much more. Again, with the advent of flag football coming in 2028 to the Olympics, and with the NFL's investment and push globally, these players are starting to see an opportunity to play something different than they've ever had an opportunity to do that. Some of them grew up not knowing what football was. Right. Now it's a real avenue to a career. And I think that's where it's going to continue to grow in popularity.
So what does success look like for All22 Global Scouting? Give me an idea of when you know you've got something.
Well, the key is, for us, it's finding the athletes is the key. But the biggest part of it is making that sustainable. So the programs that we're helping put into place with these different national federations, we work with multiple federations over in Africa, Uganda. There's a handful over there that we're working with all over Europe. So helping them make a sustainable program to start getting these players not only trained, but then recognized, create the pipelines where they can get into the NCAA. I believe there were 550 international players in the NCAA last year. Okay. Record. And so as that number continues to grow, those players will continue to find their way into the NFL, the CFL, the USFL, etc.
Is there a secret little spot in the world that's producing more football players?
Well, I'll tell you, Germany's pretty popular right now. And I think, with all the U.S. military bases in the 80s there is a very strong pull for the NFL there and for football in general. If you haven't, there's a special on Netflix called Unicorn Town. Highly recommend the watch. Christian McCaffrey co-produced it, and it is about this little bitty town in the middle of Germany that nobody's ever heard of called Schwabish Hall, and they are mad about football, and they put out a lot of great talent over there.
I used to work in NFL Europe about 20 years ago, and whether it was Frankfurt or Berlin or Amsterdam or Barcelona, it would draw a crowd. And they knew it wasn't the real deal, right? But they loved football so much. Sure. And now that games are showing up all over the continent over there, people are showing out, and it's no surprise. Sometimes it takes time, and you build the base, the foundation of what you want. And if you're patient and you don't stop working, which obviously you haven't, something big comes of it.
It's been 4 or 5 years now. Yeah. So we were early, as they all told us, but now it's really starting to go, and we're seeing the fruits of it.
Derek Sawyer.
Yes, sir.
All22 Global Scouting. Safe travels, my friend.
Pleasure.
Enjoy the conversation about football.
Take care.
And enjoyed having you with us here today on The Horse's Mouth. We'll see you next time.